Oh, we are live. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Happy Sunday. My name is Chris, and today is We Love Comics' unboxing. And I have not one, but two comic books I want to unbox for you. So while I'm waiting for people to come in, if you want to critique the AI art, by all means, please do. Always appreciate what you have to say. And the actual lettering, I did not add actual later on after the fact. This was actually done in the actual image that I did. So it's getting better and better. And if you want to critique it, good, bad, or indifferent, by all means, please do. Also, want to give a shout out to all of my paid Patreon members. If you want to get your name shouted out in every single video I do, you can join my Patreon. It helps support my channel, which helps not only help me keep the comic books coming, and also helping between, like I always say, between 20 and 25 stray cats that I've gotten fixed so they do not increase in size as far as the amount of cats around the neighborhood. I feed them, I take care of them vet wise. So anything helps. And if you join, it's patreon.com/, we love comics, and you'll get a shout out every single video. Now, normally I just do a first and last initial. If you want me to promote maybe your YouTube channel or um, social network, just let me know at peacefulfeelings@yahoo.com and I'll do that no problem. So shout out to Sith, Michael B., James R., Dan L., Herbert R., Annabelle N., Jason B., Kim N., and the last two have Instagram accounts, both of them. So check out Scott. It's Scott WU077. So that's Scott WU077. And then last but not least, Silver Age Surfer underscore comics. And if you join them and follow them, tell them we love comics sent you because they do appreciate that. Still trying to do the giveaway. We have 10 Patreon members. If I can get 10 more, because we're at the halfway point, I got giveaways that I want to give away. Let's see if we can make it happen. There is no minimum to enter the contest, but for every $2 you put in, you'll get an extra entry. So if you put $2 in, you get one entry. $4, you get two entries, and so on and so on. So the more you contribute, the more I want to make sure you have higher chances of being successful in those random drawings. So when we get to that point, I'll do one of those spinning wheels and then it'll randomly pick. So it's not like I'm doing favoritism or anything like that. The wheel will make the decision. So join again, patreon.com/, we love comics. Still trying to do my first trade. I'm going to keep going until I get at least one. And I'm going to try for more after that. So if you have any of these books or know anybody that has them, recommend them to my channel. I mean, I think this is a great way for people to not have to spend thousands of dollars on books that they may or may not be able to afford right now and can use trades to be able to acquire things they love without also having to pay literally hundreds and hundreds of dollars in taxes. And it is not something that's taxable at the end of the year for any kind of taxable income because they do not tax trades. So it's a great way to beat the system and do it legally. So if you're interested, contact me at peacefulfeelings@yahoo.com. If it takes 30 of my books to get one of yours, as long as it's a fair trade, have no problem with doing that. So let's see if we can make that happen. So we got GT Key Comic, always here, always welcome, always appreciated in the live chat. If you want to join the live chat, I always do a surprise subscriber shout at the end. You don't even have to be a subscriber, but if you want to hit subscribe, awesome. All right, so here is the first one. This isn't a key issue or anything like that, but it's something, well, when you see it, you'll see why. I always love these boxes where you have no idea where you're supposed to open it. And as usual, I always recommend people, I mean, they were nice enough to put some padding. Um, this is probably how this book would have been sent if I didn't ask. Because I always tell people, don't assume that people know or care about how to mail a comic. How many of you out there have gotten this in the mail when you ordered a comic? Now, it's a little bent because they put it in a box with not much protection. They just put one little piece of uh, paper, as you see, so it bent a little bit. But that, I mean, I don't think I'll ever get this one graded, but if I did, that could be easily pressed out. But just imagine if this person would have mailed it just in this, how much worse it could have ended up being. So I always recommend to people, don't assume people know or care about mailing comics properly, and always ask them if they can ship out a comic, with a bag and board, because not everybody does that as well. And, put protection. So was this person going to do that? Who knows? But at least now I don't have to worry about that I only got this in the mail and the book ends up getting destroyed. So this is a probably like about a 3.5 to maybe 5. I mean, it looks like it's got a little bit of a roll in the edge here, spine roll. But I mean, that could be pressed out if I was going to press it, but I don't think I will. I got this for relatively cheap. So this one, it's Vampirella issue number 4. The reason I got this is so far I have issues 1, 2, and 3. So I want to slowly try and see how far of a run I can get. Now, some of these can get pretty expensive, even though there's nothing. I don't think this is a rare book or anything. It's got, I believe, a Franzetta cover. I can't really tell on this one. But like I said, I have all first prints. I have issue 1, 2, and 3. I think I have 2 copies of 3. I tried to get 5, but somebody wanted like $75 for a mid-grade, and I just wasn't going to spend that much on a book that really doesn't have anything majorly significant. This is magazine size, so the only company, as far as I know, as of now, that would be able to grade this is CGC. I definitely know for a fact PGX couldn't grade this. I don't know if CGC can do it. If anybody, I mean CBCS, I don't. If anybody knows, let me know. It might be something to consider. But again, I don't think I would get this one graded. It was just a Best Buy, not with any offer or anything, and I didn't think it was worth like asking for any lower because I got it with shipping and handling and with taxes, only $30. Came out to $30.27. So now I have the first 4 issues of the first print of Vampirella. So I thought that was pretty cool, but not anything. I mean, unless you're a Vampirella fan, I mean, it's not a book I would recommend. But I mean, if you can get it cheap and you want some older books in your collection, I mean, believe it or not, people do like the artwork, and there are people that read comics, believe it or not. I've heard of that. I mean, especially newer comics, there's nothing intriguing about the past few years of what they've been writing. Now, I'm sure there's always exceptions to every rule, but after a couple of years of buying these modern books and just really tired of the agendas, I really stopped a couple of years ago. And a lot of the major key issues I have, I've already read. So this is a weird one. I don't know how this person considers this protection. They put a, a backing board on one side and then they literally taped it with another. Uh, you gotta love people sometimes. How somebody would think that is protection? I'll tell you, I hope that person doesn't have adult relations with anybody and says, "Oh, don't worry, I'll provide the protection." Because if he taped this on himself or stuffed this, well, let's not go there because I don't want to assume it's always a he. Um, Interesting protection. We'll just leave it at that. All right, so if you guys know me enough, you'll probably know what type of comic this is. You may not know which particular comic it is. Explorer just sent me a message. Oh, and by the way, I just put the link in the live chat. It's also in the description. The sale for my mystery boxes is still going on until New Year's, but now it's basically I cannot it if you ordered today, I couldn't guarantee anything would get there before Christmas at this point because it's just too late. Because actually, I couldn't even mail it today. So, unless you paid for overnight, which would be ridiculous, especially if you're buying like a $25 package, I can't guarantee it'll get there for Christmas at this point. But if you order one of my mystery boxes between now and the end of the new year, you will get an extra comic for free. So if you still want to get something and you don't mind it not being, there for Christmas, check out the link I put. Once you click on that link, you'll see a bunch of pyramids. It'll say Oregon Pyramids created by Chris. That is my website. Just scroll all the way down to the bottom and you will see the section for the comics. All right, so this is probably about between a 6.5 and a 7.5. So this is a book I highly recommend. Pretty much, if you're a comic book collector, you'll have this book, but will you have this version? Those of you who know who I am, you probably have an idea when I mean what version. So we have Amazing Spider-Man number 252, first appearance of the black suit. Absolutely a must-have in anyone's comic book collection. You can see right here, it is a newsstand. But as one person, if you know who said this, but wait, there's more. If you know who said it and it said it in that way, what particular person and what movie, put that in the comments section. But as you can see here, it is another Mark Jewelers variant. I'm going all in on Mark Jewelers variants. Um, like I've told people before, just want to make sure everything else is intact. Um, a Mark Jewelers variant. All coupons are still there, nothing written in on the coupons. So Mark Jewelers variants represent approximately between 5 and 7% of a total print run. So, for example, New Mutants 98, a 9.8 CGC of the regular version of New Mutants 98 will probably sell for about, I think at this point, maybe about 800. A 9.8 newsstand version of that book would probably sell for about 1,500 to 2,000, maybe a little bit higher. And a New Mutants 98 CGC 9.8 Mark Jewelers will sell between 8 and 10 grand. So it you're not going to get every Mark Jewelers variant to become valuable, but that's why I only get key issues. Books like this I'll get all the time. So before I mention the price, you guys know how this is, and there's only two people in here right now, and that's fine. To me, quality over quantity. If you want to, and even if you watch this later, I try and get my viewers to get used to knowing the value of a book. Now, when I say to people, what would be the highest you would pay for this, including shipping and handling and taxes? Anybody would say, "Oh, I'd pay $50 for it." Well, who wouldn't? But you're not going to get a Amazing Spider-Man 252, even in low grade, for that price, even for the regular variant, the regular version of the book. So you cannot go by, well, this is what I would love to spend, because like I've said before in the past, who wouldn't want to spend $1,000 on a brand new Lamborghini? You're not getting one. And if you are, it's probably some criminal organization, and that wouldn't be legal. So unless you're getting some stolen merchandise or you're buying it from a yard sale, chances are Mark Jewelers variants of these are going to be very hard to come by. So what I always tell people as I try and get them used to, don't assume what a value is or don't assume something doesn't have value. Look it up, see what the sales have been, and then say, okay, this is the price I would be willing to pay. Because if you don't know and at least a general idea of what a book is worth, you can either overspend or miss out on an opportunity. And I've shown that over and over again. Now, if you're a person that has a $1 million trust fund, or you have $1 million in your bank account, or you have a, multi-million-dollar business that's successful, it doesn't matter to you what prices are because you can buy anything. I'm trying to teach people that have limited budgets to be able to buy books and not have to break your bank or sell your, house or use your mortgage payment or your food, allotment to be able to buy a comic. So knowing how deals are and knowing the value of a book can get you some steals when most people who don't want to put in the effort will just pass up and miss opportunities. And then the regret is always looking back and say, oh, I should have, would have, and could have, but you didn't. And a lot of times it's because people hesitate because they don't trust their own instincts. It's a choice, but let me ask you so far, the choices you're making, at least when it comes to comic book collecting, is it going the way you want it to go? And you have to be honest with yourself. If you're just satisfied with getting anything, regardless of what you pay for it, or regardless of you know, it matters to you if it's a key book or not, that's up to you. But if you're a person that's into this for collecting for investments and speculation, if you're not willing to take the time and effort to know value of books and the collectibles you're saying you're trying to invest in, well, you're going to lose more times than you're going to win. If you're afraid to make an effort, then honestly, you shouldn't do it because you're going to burn yourself out. And then you're going to see people getting deal after deal. And then instead of praising them, you get mad at them. So, all right, we have one person said, Pino said, I would pay 200 for that book. Now, is that including shipping and handling and eBay taxes? And James Logan is here. So welcome, says hello, everybody. Just got here. Welcome. So again, there are one, two, three, four, maybe five color break increases. So this isn't going to be in the 9 range. This is going to be probably a 7.0 to 7.5 range. So not bad for a Mark Jewelers. So again, newsstand variant. If you do not see a barcode here and you see, for example, like an image of Spider-Man, it cannot be a Mark Jewelers. And the reason I even say that, because most people would kind of say, oh, well, that's, like, duh. But there are actually people on eBay that have tried to sell newsstand or Mark Jewelers variants, and they show the comic and it doesn't have the barcode. So, be careful out there because some people just don't know what a Mark Jewelers is or a newsstand is. And I've sent many people, respectful emails to say, I'm not sure if you're aware, but the book you're selling is not a Mark Jewelers or is not a newsstand. And then you just explain why. But be careful because, again, knowledge is power. If you don't know that for this to be a Mark Jewelers, it has to have this, then you could easily be taken advantage of. If you don't do the research and you get taken advantage of, yeah, it's bad that somebody else did it, but it's also bad you didn't do your own due diligence. So we had Pino say he'd pay 200. James said his max would be 500. James said, but I guess you paid around 300. Well, let's just say I'm closer to Pino. I paid for this book with shipping and handling and with eBay taxes $171.72. And that was a buy it now. So it was $150 plus shipping and plus taxes. So it wasn't a best offer. For me, as soon as I saw that it was a newly listed book, as soon as I saw that, because I've done my research, I know that a Mark Jewelers variant of this book, even if it comes back a 6.0, would absolutely be worth even $200 for this book. So I snatched it up quickly. Now, you'll notice if you watch my videos and you watch the comment section, you'll see people say time and time again, you got a great deal. It's because I'm willing to put in the effort. I'm willing to trust my instincts. Thank God for PayPal credit. But this is how, like, I could literally, like, for example, James said he would pay a maximum of 500. Now, if I got this graded and it came back a 7.5, let's just say arguably, this would be about a $600-700 book. Now, if the MCU brings the symbiote and Venom into the MCU, the MCU, which there are rumors, but until something happens, you can't guarantee it. What do you think's going to happen to books like this in Secret Wars #8? Do you think they're A, going to stay the same, B, go down in price, or C, start to increase slowly but surely? A lot of the books, if you notice, I based on what's coming into the future, or at least what's potentially coming into the future, and I stick with key books for the most part because it's a guarantee. I mean, you could take chances on penny stocks, or you can invest in a bigger named brand that has more stability. Because yes, with a penny stock, you can get lucky every now and then. You can make a poop ton of profit, but you can also lose whatever amount you invest because that business can go under in a heartbeat. And I've seen that many a time. So, but when it comes to stuff like this, even if it's the regular version, this ain't going down to zero. Now, you're going to have fluctuations, which is why I say be very careful who you listen to on the internet because you'll have the fear mongers and the people that put clickbait to get you to watch their videos all over YouTube, well, they'll be like, oh my God, the market's crashing and comic books are crashing and blah, blah, blah. No. If you know anything about a healthy economy, you're going to have fluctuations. You're going to have points where things start to rise, but they get to a point where people say, now that's too expensive. I'm not willing to pay. And the price starts going down, and then people start to panic, and the price goes down a little bit more, and eventually gets to a point where it says, wow, that's a deal. I think I'm going to join in. Then it starts leveling out and it starts going back up again. But you're going to have these waves. Anybody that panics during a crash, quote unquote, does not see a buying opportunity of a lifetime. All you have to do is research history. The Great Depression had even multimillionaires jumping off of buildings because they panicked and they didn't know how to do things other than base it on emotion. But if you actually research your history, you'll know more millionaires came out of the Great Depression than any other time in US history, probably outside of the beginnings of the Bitcoin era, because when people saw the crashes, they were buying for literally pennies on the dollar. And then they knew eventually it might take a year, it might take a decade, but the prices would go back up again. So when I see prices for key books like this going down, I don't say, oh my God, it's time to panic. I say, oh my God, it's time to stock up. If you want to listen to the drama queens out there and the clickbaiters that are telling you, oh my God, sell everything because it crashes, well, what if they're trying to do that to increase their inventory, to get you to panic sell when everything's at a rock bottom price and they're buying them all up without telling you? To me, you got to be careful who you hitch your wagon to. So I can now, obviously deals are out there. And again, this was a buy it now. It didn't even have a best offer. Now, I could have messaged that person and said, hey, would you be willing to take such and such amount? But I felt at that price, even if I did that, somebody else might have came along and snatched it up. So for me to save potentially 25 or $50, ultimately to end up losing the book, was not worth the risk. So sometimes it's not advantageous to message a person and say, hey, would you be willing to be taking a even lower price? Because if you see a deal, you got to pounce on it. Otherwise, somebody like me is going to see it and they're going to take it up before you get the chance. So by the time you send somebody a message, their reply will be, I'm sorry, it's already been sold. See, and again, that has to do with knowledge. So to me, this is a no-brainer. Again, I paid with shipping and handling and eBay taxes of $171.72. To me, for a Mark Jewelers variant, it's not a steal, but it's a heck of a great deal. Because if somebody's willing to pay up to $500 for it, you know, I can easily grade this book and I will be sending it to get graded, and easily double my money, if not more. And then I could buy a better book. So the idea is spending less money, getting deals on books that you could turn around and sell to make nice amounts of profit. So you could take that and buy something more expensive, hopefully try and get that for a deal, sell that and get something more expensive and keep going up the ladder. So you're buying, I could turn around, I paid 175 roughly, turn around, get it graded, sell it for like 400 easily. If it came back in the 7.0, 7.5 range, I could easily sell it for 400, if not more. Now I can buy another book, maybe get like an $800 book, or let's say realistically, let's say about a $600 book for 400. I could find a deal like that. Then I could turn around and sell that, maybe sell that for about 900, and then go up the scale. And then let's say at the end, I ultimately end up with a $5,000 book. Well, I didn't spend 5,000 on that book. What did I spend? $171.72 on that book. But because I upgraded and took the profits and bought a better book, and then took the profits and bought a better book, I'm not spending my own money. I'm spending somebody else's money. That's how true investing works. You can get lucky every now and then by just taking the chance on something. But if you don't know what a Mark Jewelers variant is, learn about it. If you don't know that they are about between 5 and 7% of a total print run, you should learn that. If you don't know, like for example, a book like Hulk 181 has a Marvel value stamp that could make or break the value of the book, which is just literally a 1 inch by 1 inch quote unquote stamp, if you don't know these things, you're potentially going to be taken advantage of at the very least. So those are the two books. We got the first one again. To me, it's just I'm trying to. I can't say I'm going to complete a run, but I want to try and eventually get at least Vampirella 1 through 10. So this is Vampirella number 4. Not the greatest of artwork on this one. There's not much detail, but still, especially if they're the early Vampirella comics, they're definitely attractive. So, and I now have issue 1 through 4. And again, I only paid $30.27 for this. It's got a little bit of a spine roll, but like I said, if I want to get it pressed, it absolutely could improve that. But I mean, it's a mid-grade book. For $30, I'm not going to go wrong. And then last but not least, Amazing Spider-Man 252. We opened up the book. It did verify that it does have all of the Mark Jewelers variants coupons inside. Nothing's been drawn on, written on, or cut out. And I paid a grand total of $171.72. So keep working at it, ladies and gentlemen. If you are collecting comics to potentially turn around and sell them, even if you're buying them just to read them or hang them on your wall, you never know. An emergency, knock on wood, may happen, and you have to sell something to be able to pay maybe a hospital bill or a mortgage or whatever. Maybe some kind of emergency happens. Um, Selling a comic instead of having to sell your car or have to sell your house is going to be, you know, it's not always easy to sell comics. Believe me, I know there's sometimes I get attached to some of these books, but I'd rather sell comic books than have to sell my car if there's an emergency where I needed literally thousands of dollars really quickly. So that's why I always tell people get multiple copies if you can, because this is not my first 252 um, variant for the Mark Jewelers. This one's just a regular newsstand, but I only paid $89 for this one. You got to know these things. And like, here's another thing I highly recommend. I've been recommending these for years. This, for example, is Ghost Rider number 28, still in the original bag, but here's something you don't see every day. It's a newsstand variant, still in the original bag. I paid $19.75 for this. I'm absolutely going to be getting this graded because Midnight Suns is rumored to be coming to the MCU. And I say rumored because until it happens, nothing is guaranteed. But usually you see a side profile of Ghost Rider there. You don't see that here. You see newsstand, and this is very rare, especially in high grade. And this has 9.8 potential. Got it for under $20. While everybody else is panicking and saying, oh, there's a comic book crash and you got to panic, I'm saying I'm buying things on super sale. It ain't going to last forever. Prices can only go down on key issues so low before people say, now's the time to buy. And then it starts turning around again. If you're always doing what people in the investment community call bottom fishing, if you're always trying to find rock bottom, most of the time you're going to miss it because you're like, okay, it's going down $10. I'm going to wait. Going down $20. Yeah, I'm still going to wait. It's going down 50. I'm going to still wait and see because now it's lowering. It's down to 100. It's $100 cheaper. And you're like, oh, I'm really going to wait now because look at all the price, how quickly it's going down. And then all of a sudden you wake up the next day, it's up $300 and you missed out on the opportunity because you were waiting for absolute rock bottom. The idea is trust your instincts. If you think now's the time to buy, let's say you bought it and it was $75 off, but it got down to 100. Yeah, you're going to be disappointed, but you'd be a lot less disappointed if you were waiting past that 100 and miss out the opportunity and now it's no longer there. So, as long as you are getting profit or you're getting a deal, it should be worth it to you. Be very careful who you listen to on the internet. There are many popular, larger YouTube channels that people trust them no matter what they say. I don't understand that. But if you want to hitch your horse to those kind of wagons and you just believe everything they say without question, then it's more of a cult than anything else. I always tell people, at least on my channel, think for yourself, do your own research. You could listen to people, but always trust your own due diligence and put in the effort and you will succeed more times than you'll fail. Now, even if you do everything right, it's like playing blackjack. Even if you know how to play and you have a table full of people who absolutely play by the rules, it doesn't guarantee you win every time. But on average, you'll win more than you'll lose. Now, if you look at just this year alone, look at all of the unboxing videos I did and see how many of them that I paid under what the value was. And at the very least, I'll pay about the going rate. You will hardly find, I would think you'd probably find maybe 2 or 3 videos this year alone that maybe I bought a book and the price went down. So I didn't have 100% ratio, but I'm probably good at 85, 90% positive ratio where I can make money on a book. Because my thing is, if I can't get a deal for it, I'll pass up on it and I'll wait until a deal happens. So many people use their emotions to dictate their purchasing power. And they might have a book that they've wanted maybe for years. And a lot of times they want it because everybody else wants it. And all of a sudden they want it. It's like a kid playing with a toy and another kid's there doesn't care about it until all of a sudden the other kid tries to play with it. Now they're like, why are you touching my toy? It's sometimes you want what others want. You also want what you can't have. But my thing is, if you don't do the research, you're going to say, okay, there's a book. I haven't seen it in a while. I better buy it right now and I'll pay whatever price. Even if you have the money for it, that's still ridiculous. Because if you have a book that's worth 500 and you could get it for 400 but have to wait maybe a year to get it, it's worth it if that's still available for that price. The only time to act quickly is if there's a deal that you think is worth buying at that time, or it's just a book that's so rare you'll never see it again. Because remember, even books like Amazing Fantasy 15, which I've yet to own one, they're not a rare book. And that's why I want to try and achieve one via trade. Because as of now, I don't have about $10,000 in my, in my bank account to be able to just throw away on a comic book, as much as I'd love to. But if I can get little books like this and turn around and sell them and make profits, I could get it via trade. And that's what I'm trying to do. So hopefully I'll instill that with people. All right, since we only have a couple of people in here, we're going to have Pino, James Logan, Agu Rhythm, and GT Key Comic. All 4 of you are today's surprise subscriber shoutouts. You guys have been here for so long, you don't have to have me go through the whole spiel. But if anybody wants to critique the AI art, please do. And also, if you want to comment after this video is uploaded, I'd always appreciate that. It helps with the algorithm. And ladies and gentlemen, also, if you want to buy one of my mystery boxes, again, I put the link in the live chat. It will also be in the description of this video. Can't guarantee it'll get there before Christmas at this point, but any purchase of any of my packages, regardless of if it's the bare minimum one or the $5,000 platinum package, between now and New Year's, you will automatically get one extra comic thrown in for free. Each package has 20 comics in it, so you'll get 21. So if anybody that's ordered my mystery boxes, if you've received them and if you've done an unboxing video, please share the link in this video or the most recent one at the time, because I'd love to help people, maybe see or notice your channels out there. And if you don't have a video and you don't make videos, if you could at least leave in the comment section what your experience was with the purchase, I'd appreciate that as well. So thanks for watching, everybody. I'm sure I'll do another video before Christmas, but just in case if I don't for whatever reason, I want to wish everybody a very Merry Christmas. I know people are so conditioned to say Happy Holidays these days, but this is my point of view. If somebody's going to be offended by your friendly gesture of a holiday greeting, then that's their problem, not mine. So whether you celebrate Christmas or not, irrelevant. Whatever you do, I hope you have fun. But I am going to wish people a very Merry Christmas. So if that makes you cringe or gets you upset, hey, you know, to each their own. Till then, I look forward to your comments about the AI art. Look forward to your comments overall, and look forward to your subscriptions if you want to do them. And hit the like or dislike, whichever floats your boat. And just don't hit the person next to you, because remember, ladies and gentlemen, it is not you, it is not I. It is we love comics, especially when we can get them under the values. Thanks for watching, everybody, and don't forget to have your trolls spayed or neutered. Have a wonderful